Before the sun could finish rising, everyone on Palm Road already knew one thing: when Victor Hale's car appeared, you stepped aside. Not out of respect. Out of fear. Victor Hale was a billionaire whose name opened doors and silenced arguments. His cars were polished like mirrors, his suit sharper than knives, and his heart harder than stone. When he drove past roadside traders and dusty villagers, he never slowed down. The tires spun faster, lifting clouds of brown dust that settled on faces, clothes, and hopes. From inside the tinted glass, Victor never looked back. To him, people were obstacles. Money was power. And kindness was weakness. He had everything the world celebrates: mansions, companies, influence. But in that massive house of glass and marble, there was only one human being he called his. His son, Evan. Evan was 10 years old, quiet, and always watching. He followed his father with hopeful eyes, waiting for a smile that rarely came. Victor paid for the best toys, the best schools, the best clothes, but never for time. Love, he believed, was replaced easily by luxury. Money is enough, Victor often said. It solves everything. Evan believed him. Until the day money failed. It began with a fever. At first, Victor ignored it. Doctors were called only when Evan could no longer stand. Within hours, the boy was taken to a private hospital built with more technology than some countries owned. Machines beeped. Screens glowed. Specialists flew in. No expense was spared. Victor stood confident. Do whatever it takes, he said. I'll pay. They did everything. And still, Evan grew weaker. Days passed. The fever stayed. The boy's eyes lost their shine. One night, Evan held his father's sleeve with trembling fingers. Dad. I'm scared. Victor froze. It was the first time fear touched him, not in the market, not in business, but in his own chest. Doctors spoke in low voices. Words like complications and uncertain filled the air. For the first time in his life, Victor Hale had something money could not buy. Hope. Desperate, he ordered his aides to search everywhere. New treatments. Old knowledge. Anything. That was when a name surfaced. Elder Musa. A village herbalist. Victor laughed at first. A bitter, sharp laugh. He remembered that name clearly. Years ago, while passing through that same village, his security team had roughly pushed the old man aside for slowing the road. Victor had watched from his car. He had said nothing. He had driven on. Now that same man was being mentioned as a last option. Victor hesitated. Pride wrestled with fear. But fear won. The hospital released Evan for transfer. They drove, not in speed this time, but in silence, back to the village Victor once treated like that. Elder Musa's hut was small. Clay walls. The smell of herbs and earth. Nothing like the shining hospital Victor trusted so much. The old man stepped out slowly. His eyes were calm. Wise. Familiar. Victor couldn't speak at first. Elder Musa looked at Evan, lying weakly in his father's arms. This child has been carrying more than sickness, the old man said softly. He has been carrying loneliness. Those words struck deeper than any insult Victor had ever ignored. Without pride, without anger, Victor bent his knees. I was wrong, he said, his voice breaking. I saw people as dust. Please, don't see my son the same way. Elder Musa said nothing. He simply nodded and began his work. Leaves were crushed. Warm mixtures prepared. Gentle care replaced cold machines. Days passed, not in beeping sounds, but in quiet patience. And then, Evan smiled. Weak at first. Then brighter. Life returned to his eyes. Victor watched in disbelief as the boy slowly recovered, not because of money, but because of mercy. When Evan could finally walk, he held his father's hand tightly. Dad, he whispered, the old man is kind. Victor swallowed hard. Yes, he said. He is. Before leaving, Victor returned to Elder Musa. He tried to offer money. A lot of it. The old man shook his head. "Keep it," he said. "Use it to lift people, not bury them in dust." Victor drove away a changed man. From that day on, his car slowed near villages. His windows rolled down. His wealth began to heal instead of harm. And his son, once ignored, became the heart that taught him how to be human. Sometimes, the greatest lesson doesn't come from power. It comes from humility. If this story touched your heart, please subscribe to my channel for more emotional stories like this, and may God bless you richly as you do so.